Hello and welcome to the session on skill of building self-confidence and self-motivation. Motivation is a process which pushes us to achieve our goals, feel more pleased and advance overall excellence of life. Accepting your motivation can help you to take control of many other aspects of your life. Sometimes your motivation is hidden from your consciousness. Your motivation may change from moment to moment, hour to hour, day to day and through life. As this happens, your needs, wants and goals change and evolve. Those who are motivated also find it much easier to motivate others. Daniel Goleman identified 4 elements that make up motivation: personal drive to achieve the desire to get better or to meet certain values, commitment to individual or social goals, initiative, which he defined as readiness to act on opportunities, and optimism, the ability to keep going and pursue goals in the face of setbacks. There are mainly 2 types of motivation: intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic, it is that arises from within the individual to perform an action or task based on the expected or perceived satisfaction of performing the action or task. Intrinsic motivators include having fun, being interested and personal challenge. Extrinsic, it is driven from outside to perform an action or task in order to attain some sort of reward, including money, power and good marks or grades. Self motivation is an intrinsic one, which involves higher levels of personal involvement that motivate us beyond expectation of others. Different people are motivated by different things and at different times in their lives. The same task may have more intrinsic motivators at certain times and more extrinsic motivators at others. Most tasks have a combination of the 2 types of motivation. While you perform a certain task, think about both intrinsic and extrinsic motivators. If you have difficulty getting motivated to perform specific tasks, it may be useful to write them down and list the motivators for each. There are many advantages to self motivation. People who are self motivated, for example, tend to be more organized, have good time management skills and more self-esteem and confidence. Research has shown that those with high self-motivation enjoy better overall health, energy and confidence because they deal with stress and difficult emotions better. More time for their families and friends since they tend to set healthy boundaries and leave work at the office. Better relationships and ability to focus on improving relationships. Improved performance at work through better ability to concentrate and greater commitment to tasks. Better ability to influence and persuade others. More leadership and executive presence. Increased positive attitude. Improved performance at work. Being perceived as more attractive. Freedom from social malaise. More fearlessness and less anxiety. Greater levels of happiness. Now let us look what are the skills involved in self motivation. There are a number of skills involved in self motivation: setting high but realistic goals, taking the right level of risk, seeking constant feedback to work out how to improve, being committed to personal or organizational goals and going the extra mile to achieve them, actively seeking out opportunities and seizing them when they occur, being able to deal with the complications and continue to pursue goals despite the obstacles. Finally, it is important to keep track of what you want to achieve and stay motivated to do so. To keep your motivation levels up, try to learn and acquire knowledge. Read, study and talk to people. Knowledge and information are key for feeding your mind and keeping you curious and motivated. Keep the company of enthusiastic people. Try to avoid negative people and seek out positive, well motivated people. It is a lot easier to be motivated if the people around you are. Keep positive. Keep a positive attitude. See problems and setbacks as learning opportunities. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Work on ironing out your weaknesses and building on your strengths. Try not to procrastinate. Assess the risks but keep working towards your goals. Get help and help others. Don't be afraid to ask others for help and don't hold back if you can help them. Seeing other people succeed will help to motivate you to do the same. Prize students, reward positive behavior, create a positive atmosphere in the classroom. Use different methods of teaching and consider individual differences among learners. Now, let us look what is self-confidence. Although self-confidence can mean different things to different people, in reality it simply means having faith in you. Confidence is in part a result of how we have been brought up and how we have been taught. We learn from others how to think about ourselves and how to behave. These lessons affect what we believe about ourselves and other people. Confidence is also a result of our experiences and how we have learned to react to different situations. To be self-confident, have trust in our own abilities and believe that we can do what we set our minds to. As you can see from the description, self-belief is a necessary but not sufficient component of self-confidence. You must have at least some degree of self-belief to have self-confidence, but simply self-belief does not necessarily guarantee your self-confidence. Along with characterizing your beliefs about yourself, self-confidence is a trait that permeates your thoughts, feelings and actions. Self-confidence is not constant. Our confidence to perform roles and tasks, how deal with the situations can increase and decrease, and some days we may feel more confident than others. To be truly self-confident is to display confidence in your words and actions in addition to feeling capable. Now, what are the factors affecting the self-confidence? Often we lack confidence in ourselves when we think of what others may think about us. Thinking that others may laugh at us or complain or make fun if we make a mistake can prevent us from doing things we want because we believe that the consequences are too painful or embarrassing. Fear of the unknown, criticism, being unhappy with the personal appearance, feeling unprepared, poor time management, lack of knowledge and previous failures are other factors. Overconfidence can be a problem if it makes you believe that you can do anything, even if you lack the necessary skills, abilities and knowledge to do it. In such situations, overconfidence can lead to failure. Being overly confident may lead others to think you are so arrogant or egotistical. People are much more likely to take pleasure in your failures if you are perceived as arrogant. Performing a role or completing a task confidently doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. Mistakes are inevitable, especially when doing something new. Confidence includes knowing what to do when mistakes come to light and therefore is also about problem solving and decision making. When your self-confidence is low, you struggle in your profession and at work, you don't feel very happy, you don't cope well with stress and you probably lack enthusiasm and motivation. Dow quotes in 2008, without confidence there is no leadership. Leadership requires confident decision making, risk taking and commitment. Three things that those with low self-confidence generally lack or lag in. Now, let us discuss the ways to improve self-confidence. There are two sides for improving confidence. Although the ultimate aim is to feel more confident within yourself, it is also important how you appear more confident to other people. Here are a few ideas on how you can achieve this. First one, planning and preparation. People often feel less confident about new or potentially difficult situations. Perhaps the most important factor in developing confidence is planning and preparing for the unattained objectives. If you are applying for a new job, it would be a good idea to prepare for the interview. Think about the questions that you may be asked and prepare the answers well. Practice yourself with the peer groups and gain their feedback. Second one, learning and training. Learning and research helps us to feel more confident about our ability to handle situations, roles and tasks. Knowing what to anticipate and how and why things are finished will add to your consciousness and usually makes you feel more organized and ultimately more confident. Positive thoughts. Positive thought can be a very influential way of improving confidence. Optimism is the assurance that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. If you believe that you can achieve something, then you are likely to work hard to make sure you do it. However, if you don't believe that You can accomplish a task when you are more likely to approach it half-heartedly and therefore be more likely to fail. The trick is convincing yourself that you can do it with the right help, support, preparation and knowledge. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Write a list of things that you are good at and things that you know need improvement. Discuss it with your friends and family members. They surely can help you. Celebrate and develop your strengths and find ways to manage your weaknesses. We all make mistakes. Don't think of your mistakes as negatives, but rather as learning opportunities. Accept compliments and compliment yourself. When you receive a prize, thank them and ask for more details like what exactly did they like. Recognize your own achievements and celebrate them by rewarding yourself and telling about them to your friends and family members. Use criticism as a learning experience. Everybody sees the world differently from their own perspective, and what works for one person may not work for the another. Criticism is just the opinion of somebody else. Be assertive when receiving criticism. Don't reply in a defensive way or let criticism lower your self-esteem. Listen to the criticism and make sure that you understand what is being said so you can use criticism as a way to learn and improve. Try to stay generally cheerful and have a positive outlook about life. Only complain or criticize when necessary, and when you do so in a constructive way. Offer others compliments and congratulate them on their successes. Find yourself a confident role model. Identify the role model, talk to them and follow their lead. Ideally, this will be someone that you see regularly, a work colleague or a family member or a friend or somebody with a lot of self-confidence who you would like to mirror. Observe them and notice how they behave when they are being confident, how they move, speak, what do they say and when, how do they behave when faced with a problem or mistake, how do they interact with other people and how do others react to them. If possible, talk to them to learn more about how they think and what makes them think. Speaking to and being around people who are confident will usually help you to feel more confident. As you become more confident, then offer help and advice. Become a role model for somebody less confident. Be assertive. Being assertive means standing up for what you believe and sticking to your principles. Being assertive also means that you can change your mind if you believe it is the right thing to do, not because you are under pressure from somebody else. Keep calm. There is usually a correlation between confidence and calmness. If you feel confident about a task, then you will likely feel calm about doing it. When you feel less confident, you are more likely to be stressed or nervous. Trying to remain calm even when you are under stress and pressure will tend to make you feel more confident. Arrogance is detrimental to interpersonal relationships. As your confidence grows and you become successful, avoid feeling or acting superior to others. Remember, nobody is perfect and there is always more for you to learn. Celebrate your strengths and successes and recognize your weaknesses and failures. Give others credit for their work. Use compliments and praise sincerely. Be courteous and polite. Show an interest in what others are doing. Ask questions and get involved. As we successfully complete tasks and goals, our confidence to complete the same and similar tasks increases. Whatever you do, aim to be as good as you can. The better you are doing something, the more confident you become. Admit to your mistakes and be prepared to laugh at yourself. Now, what are the merits of self-confident individuals? People who are self-confident do what they believe are right, even if they are mocked or criticized for it. They are more willing to take risks and move further to get what they want. They are able to admit their mistakes and learn from their failures. They wait for others to congratulate them on their accomplishments instead of self-praising. They accept compliments with elegance and gratefulness. Less likely to be envious. Set healthy boundaries. willing to admit when they are wrong, unlikely to show off or boast about themselves, more likely to accept responsibility for their actions and emotions, willing to leave awful relationships. What are the common activities for developing self-motivation and self-confidence? First one, recognizing negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are so often an exhaust on our self-confidence and self-motivation, and we may not even realize it. When you notice a negative thought, grab onto it and either write it down or just sit and think about it for a moment. Spend your time thinking about how it can be rephrased and adapted to become a positive thought. If you are thinking that I am a failure and I can't do anything right, try to replace it with a more tolerant phrase like everyone make mistakes sometimes and I can do better or next time. This thought may boost your belief to succeed in the future. Next one is challenging yourself. Open yourself to new experiences and allow yourself to succeed. Find something you are interested and beneficial in and go for it. It might be a stitching, cooking, weaving, marathon training, or volunteering for a cause you are passionate about. Whatever it is, push yourself to take a risk and watch your confidence and motivation level are increasing. Giving yourself the self-care you need. Self-care is exceptionally important for a lot of things, but it can be especially impactful for our motivation and confidence. Engage in activities which show how valuable you are, and you will feel more confident in your abilities and motivated to prove that you are right about yourself. Make sure to take care of your body, mind and soul by eating healthy, exercising, giving yourself a rest and engaging in whatever other self-care you need to feel good. Next one is practicing or accepting failures. Engage in some activities that you know you will fail at. If I know it sounds terrible, why should I do something when I know that I will fail? Because practicing failure can be just as important as practicing success. Sometimes you will achieve them and sometimes you won't. Whether you can or you can't, tell yourself you put a lot of effort into this and I am proud of for working hard. Some other practices to develop self-motivation and self-confidence are hypnotherapy, guided meditations, movies about self-confidence and self-motivation, then motivational speeches and books. Now let us check what are the assessment tools that can be used for self-confidence and self-motivation. If you are so curious to know your level of motivation and confidence you have, you may find one of the scales described below as useful. CAPA Inventory. The CAPA, which stands for Career and Personality Assessment Inventory, is grounded in Bandura's self-efficacy theory and measures self-confidence as a function of belief in one's ability to accomplish tasks. The inventory was created by Betts and Bogan in 2010 and includes 190 total items measuring 6 confidence themes across 27 vocational domains. The 6 confidence themes are extroversion, leadership, teamwork, motivation, academic achievement, and the last one, risk taking. Personality Evaluation Inventory. This scale was designed to measure confidence as a sense of competence and ability in several life domains that are relevant to college students. The Personality Evaluation Inventory, or PEI, covers a wide range of behaviors and provides a general score of self-confidence. This scale was developed by researchers Sugar and Scone in 1995. It contains 54 items rated on a scale from 1 strongly agree to 4 that is strongly disagree. Items are organized in the following domains: academic, appearance, athletic, romantic, social, speaking. Next tool is Student Motivation and Self-Confidence in Learning Scale. This scale was developed for students to assess their level of learning and school related self-confidence. It was designed by researchers Jeffries and Rizzolo in 2006. This scale consists of 13 items, 5 assessing motivation with the current learning and 8 assessing self-confidence in learning. The items are rated on a 5-point scale. Next one is Academic Behavioral Confidence Scale. The Academic Behavioral Confidence Scale, or ABC, provides a measure of students' global academic confidence or their confidence in their ability to succeed in their academic activities. Sander and Sanders created the scale in 2003 and conducted further testing and validation on it in 2007 and 2009. It is composed of 24 items presented with the prefix how confident you are that you will be able to, and rated on a 5-point scale. Thank you for watching this program. Have a nice day.